Alright guys, so yeah, we're going to be tackling these Alpha Legion guys, and I'm going to actually work on the bases. So here you can see we have our colour shifting Alpha Legion, and they're very cool. So yeah, alright, now I'm going to go through and I'm going to work on the base of these guys a bit, so it should be good. Now, so if you remember from the previous tutorials, I was basically going through and I was talking about doing kind of like a swampy Martian swamp kind of thing, and I'm going to stick with that. So I'm just removing these Alpha Legion guys off the counters, right? So just remove these like that. Alright, just lay them all up because I want to batch construct these. Do them all at once, which is really cool. Alright, so alright, fantastic, there we go. There's a little bit of paint on that one from before when I was just testing some stuff out, but that's alright, so we'll just leave that there like that. It should be cool. Alright, now the idea is I want to put some water in here as well. So I've got some water effects for this, but what I'm going to also do, I want to have like sort of like pebbles and rocks and stuff as well, kind of make it look like really Martian. So I'm going to start off with just using some clay. Now this is just like cheap clay. I bought it for like $2 I think, and I could end up going through and just basing it out already. You know, with this stuff, this is the other stuff I'm going to be using, which is Tamiya soil effect. Alright, and I'm just gonna, but that stuff's expensive, so it's kind of like, yeah, like I want to get as much volume out of this as I can. So I'm just going through, I'm just basically just opening up the clay. It's just normal clay, guys, and I'm just gonna, it's quite yucky, but I'm just gonna start sticking it around. Right, I just want to sort of add some volume to this, to these bases, essentially. Alright, so, you know, maybe I want like a, kind of like a thing here like that. Alright, the idea is, like, I want pockets of water, so I can add my water later, but I also want it to remain nice and high as well. So we can go through there and do that. So this stuff dries up actually pretty quickly, so I've got to work fast with it. I'm going to tear a whole chunk off actually, that'll do. So it's actually really nice clay this. I'm just going to zoom in just a little bit more, just so you can see what I'm doing there. So alright, so I'm just going to go through, just tear it off. You know, it can be random, guys. It doesn't have to be like some epic sort of like shapes, because you know, it is sort of like a random sort of Martian world, right? So I'm just going to go through, put them there like that. And you can see here, just leave these holes for like where the water would go. Alright, so we've got a little bit of a hole there for water. I've got some tools for this, but I couldn't be stuffed getting off my chair, so I'm just going to go through. I'm just going to use this and just sort of like just pat it out a bit. Just add some bumps and stuff like that. It's just adding volume. But like I was saying, guys, don't worry. This isn't the final thing. The soil is going to go over the top of this. This is just basically to add some bulk. It also, the reason why I'm using clay too is because it actually helps to weigh the miniature down as well on the table. So I might just roll that a little bit over as well, just to flatten it just a little bit. Squish him under the def roller. Alright, there we go. So, and now you can see I've got a nice foundation for some water puddling. Alright, I can put some water in there. It should be cool. Now this next one I'll go over and I'll basically just lay it on the top like this. So this one can kind of be like a ledge. So I'll have the water for this one like running through the middle, which should be pretty cool. So I'm just going to go through, just pat that down like that. Alright, so awesome. Alright, and then maybe I think just a tiny little bit on that side there to create like a river between it. So something like that. Alright, and then move forward and just sort of push that in. Just a little bit of build up there. Alright, so there we go. We've got our like nice little river there. Now when we put the soil over the top, it'll help us fill in those edges, but I will just put in some bracing edges here just for now, just to be sure, because when I pour that water in, I want it to be, I don't want it overflowing like over the side and stuff like that, you know. So just going to push that through like that. Alright, you can just use your hands. Okay, it's looking pretty cool. So I might just bump that area up a little bit more. Maybe like just watch out like areas like that as well. So alright, yeah, that looks a lot more natural now. And like I said, we could put holes in here, and we could actually have like, you know, some more water in there as well. You know, make it like a stream. Doesn't have to be perfect. It is mud. Alright, so that's gonna be cool. Alright, so just go through, just keep doing those. Just skip ahead on the video if you don't want to watch anymore. Okay, so just randomly placing these chunks of stuff down. Alright, I might go through and just get around the edge there like that. So it's all about just getting those random shapes out. Yeah, that could work. That could work. Maybe maybe a little bit over here, sort of like indented in, sort of like that, which would work, which would be cool. Alright, so just moving it around there, just make it random, you know. Pushing it in, pushing it in. Okay. Yeah, so some of that would be alright. And I'll go through and I'll just fill up those edges now. So I can just roll that. It's kind of like working with Play-Doh, this stuff. Just brace those edges. I might just completely remove this middle part actually. Yeah. Alright, so squeezed it well over the other way now, so I've made a big mess of it now, people. So be careful, because when this stuff dries, you don't want it drying in the wrong position or like over the base or anything like that, because it's gonna get yucky. Alright, but that's it. We just want a bit of bracing edge there, just so like when the water drips down, it doesn't go too crazy. Alright, so yeah, we are going to be going over the top with soil, so it's not a drama. Alright, so we could probably even put that on now. Get like a hair dryer and sort of do that, whack it on. Now this one I'll make quite a little bit more water in here, so we'll have like this really cool river going around. So like maybe around here. Alright. It's actually the effect that we want. Really cool. So it's looking really nice, everybody. Just to help build that volume. It's really going to help us later on. Right, so just going through there like that, just putting some holes in it. I don't even really need to, but I'm just doing it like that. There's also those Games Workshop tools for like sort of putty and stuff like that. You can use those. I just couldn't be bothered right now. I'm just happy with doing it like this for now. And getting the result that I wanted anyway. I might just zoom out a little bit. I keep cutting myself off. Check out that gold on this guy. I did a little bit more work to him. I did like some custodes as well. So I was just doing a first layer of gold there on my custodes. So I reckon that's looking pretty good, guys. Let me know in the comments down below. So I've got my window open because I was doing a lot of spraying before. So I live in the CBD, so there's always knuckleheads around. So sorry about the noise, everybody. I could close the window, make it a little bit better, but I kind of want a bit of fresh air. Did a lot of spraying today. So just go through. You could probably even use glue tack for this as well, guys, if you really wanted to. But yeah, like it's actually no, you can't really use glue tack for it. Yeah, stick with this clay. I'm just going through. This will dry solid. And you really just randomly just like, you know, lubbing stuff on. You know, this could be like a rock pool or something like that. Alright, we're going to be some nice Alpha Legion. And I'm just sticking him here. Go anywhere. A little bit more. I haven't used much at all, guys, so it's really good. Not bad for $2. I love doing scenery. You've probably seen some of my other bases as well. I think some of you guys on the channel have said, like, complimented me before on my basing, which is really cool. So yeah, just look, random shapes, everybody, just completely random. Just going through. This would be nice. No, I'll just have to put something around the edges there, so I'll just roll her up. Just give her a bit of a roll. Alright, and then just go around the edge of this one. Yeah, so this clay's got moisture in it, and it takes a little while to dry, but it's good because it gives us more time to work with it. So, all right, that's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. It's gonna squish that down a little bit like that, just to get some more organic kind of shapes there. It is a Martian planet though, so you know, anything goes really. I'm just looking at this, just thinking, yeah, that's cool. It's cool. Just having a look at the shapes, thinking I think maybe this one could just use a little bit more out here like that, like a river, maybe like that. This one could probably, yeah, I like this one. It's sort of unique in its own way. So it's really starting to harden up now, guys, so it's good. Maybe I just crush that in a little bit more like that. That's going to look good. And whoever's on that one will be a little bit higher as well. But that's absolutely fine because we want to add some variance. That's what sells it, you know, so it's really cool. So, right, maybe I'm thinking, you know what, I want that to be a big puddle in the middle. And I just butchered it, but that's alright. So you just see it's starting to dry up quite a bit now, so I've got to work with it fast. Alright, so yeah, alright, I like that, that's cool. Want to leave a little bit of room for the rocks and stuff and the grass as well. So I don't want like too much water on there. Alright, we've got that volume coming out. Yeah, alright, I think that's good. Alright, cool. Whoop. Alright, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay. Do that clay up. Its bag comes like with a little sealer where you can like seal it up, so that's awesome because I'm going to be using this for my Imperial Knight. So I'm definitely going to be chocking some clay up on this one. And I'm going to do this bag back up here. Alright, so now what I'm going to do, I'm thinking we're going to have to come in here and we're going to want to glue it. So I don't think plastic glue is really going to work for us here. So we'll probably have to use something like maybe PVA glue for this. So I do, that's cool, I like that. So just zoom in a little bit there for you. Alright, there we go, it's looking good, yeah? Cool. Alright, let's see. I was using my PVA glue just the other day, so it shouldn't be too far. Maybe probably the best thing for this would be wood glue. But I've got my PVA glue right here, so I'll just use this. We really don't need much, and remember I'm gonna be putting water over the top of this anyway. Oh, this is wood glue. Alright, even better. Sweet. So I'm just gonna anything, it just needs to stick. It can be like any glue, anything. We just need to stick it on there for a bit. Plastic glue won't work. Super glue would probably work the best, I think. But just to get a little bit in there. Let's glue it on a little bit. Alright. So you start, it looks like there's water in there already, right? So I've got that many glues in here, guys. I'm just like, oh yeah, what glue am I gonna get? I just grab a glue, any glue. Just like, yeah, cool. So you just go through, get this going like that. Just like that. Mind you, I just like to tell you, I've never done this before. This is purely just like randomly at the top of my head. Like, I haven't seen it anywhere before. I'm not emulating it. It was just an idea I had. So, Dr. Steve's tutorials, guys. So, cool. Yeah. So, Locke's been requested we get back to work on this Alpha Legion for a while. And we've already done the base coats and that. I mean, we've got to wash it. You know, we can't really make a tutorial just on washing it. So, and I want to get one out tonight. So I was like, you know what, guys, let's, you know, why don't we go do some bases? That'd be really cool. So, I'm just going to go through here, just a little bit more here. Wonderful. Alright. Fantastic. Okay, so next step, I'll just grab my hairdryer and we'll go to town on that one. Alright, got my hairdryer. I bought this one specifically for miniatures, by the way. So I'm not using, like, you know, the fiance's one or whatever. So gonna go through, just hair dry this. This is another tip I usually do, just to help speed things along. Just make sure you don't melt anything, guys. Don't melt any plastic. Well, so this will work for anything, drying your paint as well. Turn the camera off, guys. You don't have to watch me do this. Actually, I'll just turn it on near the end here, just so you can see my process. Just don't burn your hand when you're doing it as well. This will harden it up enough for us to just jump to the next stage. Otherwise, you'd have to wait like for ages, like 2 hours, 3 hours or something. Alright, so that should do it now. Yeah, it's a lot harder now. Alright, so we should be able to jump to the next stage now with this one. Maybe just a little bit more. You could glue tack these down the bottom as well of the table. The glue will help to keep them in place as well. Just watch out on the bolt action, guys, don't use them. Alright, cool. Alright, so that's looking pretty good. Looking pretty good indeed. Doesn't matter if you get some overhang, because yeah, we're going to be going through and adding stuff, rocks like that anyway to it, and it's going to be overhanging, so awesome. Alright, so the clay's drying, the glue's drying, and it's looking good. It's already looking like rocks, yeah? Cool. So, yeah, it's going to be looking good. Alright, so the next step, at this point in time, there's two of these Tamiya things I've got. One's soil, and the other one is like mud, and I'm just thinking like which one would probably be best to use. Now I'm just going to go see if I've got an open version of this, because I don't want to open this one up if I've already got one open, okay? Yeah, so as it turns out, I've got a few of them. So this is the mud one. This is the snow one. It's really good for snow. That's the soil one that I thought I had. So it's the same one as that one, and it's already open, so I'm going to use this one, so it's good. Yeah, it's very important, like, I think I want to use this one over the brown one, because I want there to be a soil effect. Alright, so just going to open this guy up. I'll probably just zoom out. Just open this guy up. Hopefully it's not dried up. No, it's not. I've already used a fair bit of it. This has got a really nice texture to it. So I want to get the oldest, crappiest, smashed brush that I've got. And I just want to go through and just first give this a bit of a mix. It's already starting to dry up a little bit by the looks of it. That's okay. And just get a wallop of it like that. It might be a bit too much. And I'm just gonna put it around here like that, and it's really good because it's like we've already got that natural red color coming off it, and we'll go through after this. We'll put some Martian iron earth over the top as well. It'll look really nice, and you can see now why I put that clay down there, because you can stack it up, but this stuff is a lot more expensive than the clay. So by doing this, you're kind of going to get volume there, and also save some money. So, I mean, even though I've got like a whole vial left there, but still, yeah. So this is going to be really nice. It's going to put some rocks in here. Going to put some water in here. It's going to be nice. Just watch out, like, when you're doing it. Just try to keep it off the edge of the base. Alright, so let's get like a big wallop of that and then just put it there. You can use a brush for this, guys, but just be warned, it absolutely brutalizes your brushes. So I don't recommend too much, like, unless you've got like really old brushes. I mean, this is a brush, it's completely turboed. Alright, so you can see here how that's going. Alright, and just it just adds that really nice volume and texture. And we'll probably have to go and paint over these again around the side of these bases, but that is okay. Alright, so you can see here, just get it down there. Whoops, it's alright. Get a little bit of stuff in here. I'd rather just get it here because I get that texture as well. Even though I'm going to pour water in there, it's just better than like coming back and having to paint it. It just gives me that extra step. So I've got, okay, yeah, so I've got a nice cavity there now, which is really cool. Got all these chunky bits coming up, which is really cool. Alright, so have a look at that. Games Workshop's texture paint, don't do that, guys. Alright, now I'm going to go through and I'm going to just stick this on. It's pretty hard, it's pretty dried. I'll have a go at putting it on there, but yeah, no, it's fluffed, so I'm just going to take it off. See, let's wipe that table over just a little bit. Just going through, doing the deed with these guys, all good. Okay, you can work out kind of like your technique for it, like twisting it off, sort of like whatever it is you want to do. Alright, so you don't have to be too accurate with it, just get it on there and, you know, create some interesting variations, some interesting shapes, get it looking organic. But that's why we base the base in Steel Legion drab already, so that if we need to have empty space there, we can just have it there. It's already brown. It's not going to affect us too much. So, all right. So that's a nice one. So always doing something different. Try to get it to the edge. Right, because nothing looks yuckier than having like a base and this gap at the edge. So even if you just go like that, I've already messed up the sides anyway, guys. So it's not going to matter too much. Okay, let's just roll it in there like that, and then we want to get some water in there. So let's just make sure that there's a cavity there. Maybe just get that. There we go. That's what I'm after. Build that crap up on one side. Okay, cool. So what you got to do, just because otherwise it's going to dry up, sort of sandy around the edge. Just give the edge a wipe. We can always come back over that, paint over that later. So yeah, I really feel as though these are gonna look really, really good for the Alpha Legion. Alright. Alright, so what I'll do, guys, I might just do the other ones. I'll stop the camera and show you the end result. Alright, guys, there you have it. I've gone through and done them. They look a pretty pimp. Just got my wall just blocking in there while I just go through and use my hair dryer just to accelerate the drying process. Yeah, this stuff has to be dry because I'm going to use a wash soon. It's alright, I think it's pretty dry now. I think it's dry enough now. Getting there. But yeah, just to show you some of the volume on this stuff. So you can see here, really, really nice thick volume there for my water. Alright, so yeah, you're not going to get that awesome stuff from the GW noob texture stuff. Right, if you want your stuff to pop, you've really got to step outside of the Citadel range, guys, and get into some hardcore stuff. Which is actually pretty funny because I'm about to use the Citadel paint next, but you know, whatever, it's all good. Right, so yeah, it's looking pretty cool. And you know, like as I said, I think it contrasts with the Alpha Legion quite nicely. Right, so that nice red brown sort of colour. Alright, so I think I mentioned in another video, I always go through and I do the bases quite early, so that way I could get a contrast on the rest of the model. So I suppose that's a tutorial in its own right, in a way. So yeah. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to get some of that Martian Iron Earth and just sort of like feather it around these bases a little bit. Alright, so cool. So yeah, same process here, guys. So this is, I'm going to be using Terminus Stone for this. The other really good one to highlight this when I'm done, the other really good one to use is a Shanty Bone from Citadel. But I can't find it and I just couldn't be bothered. And that'll work just fine. Is that it? Oh, Tyrant Skull actually, sorry. Tyrant Skull is the one you want, so I'll use that one. It's basically just a darker, more yellowy version of that. So... Alright, so here we go. I've got my Martian Iron Earth from Games Workshop, and I'm just going to go ahead now and just apply this alongside the model, the bases. So just go ahead, just sort of whack it on, kind of thickish, but not crazily thick. Just test it out, see how it goes. So I don't want it covering the whole thing. Alright, I just want it on sections. Alright, so just to break up the mass a little bit. Make it look different, you know, just add some variety, add some contrast. Yeah, so you imagine like, you know, you're on this Martian planet and you know, there's like, you know, on Earth you've got like grass and dirt, green and brown, and on this planet it's going to be like you know, Martian earth and brown, like that's the contrast, and then we'll have like pink or blue grass or something like that, make it look heaps alien. So that's the idea. So yeah, we don't want too much, but we do have to sort of put this stuff on quite thick, or it actually won't crumble the way we need it. So just keep that in mind, guys. So you just sometimes you do have to go and just put it on and then just dab it on a little bit like that. So alright, so like that. Watch those corners, check those corners, guys, at home. So alright, so yeah, that's that one done. And then look, I'm just going to go through, do these, I'll stop the camera and we'll resume. I'll show you the end result, okay? Alright, there we go, guys. So something like that. Now, we're just going to wait for this to dry. It's going to give us that nice crackling effect once it dries. But that's kind of what you want to do. You want to be going around and you want to be evening it up. Now, so what I'm going to do, so for this Martian Iron Earth, I'm going to wash that. The next step is once this dries up, I'm going to wash that in Reichland, not Reichland Flesh Shade, the Agrax Earthshade. Alright, and then the soil I'm going to wash in Null Oil. Alright, so okay, so I'm just going to hit this with the air dryer and get it drying. I'll stop the camera and I'll come back. Okay, cool. Alright, so back again. I'm just going to go through and add the Null Oil to that bottom part. Now I can see here the Martian Iron Earth is basically, you know, it's not cracking yet. Now there is still a bit of a sheen on it, so I'm hoping it'll dry more and then it will crack. But sometimes, being Citadel, basically like sometimes it doesn't crack, so I'm a little bit concerned that it might not crack on me. So if it doesn't crack, I'll just have to go through and work something out there for that one. Maybe I'll put something up over the top or whatever, but yeah, it's definitely going to be annoying if that doesn't crack. Damn, I've got all these Agrax Earthshade glosses and everything around. I'm just looking for a normal Agrax. There we go. Okay, so that's that one. And a null oil. And where's my null oil? Yeah, so we'll just null oil this guy now. Save some time. So hopefully that breaks up. But that's Citadel for you. I think I could see it breaking up a little bit now though. Should be okay. Generally, I should probably wait for this to dry before I did this, but like, you know, I can't be here all day doing this tutorial, so I'm just gonna have to do it. So I'm not bothering watering it down. You can. This will dry quite nicely over the top, and you can see it's got some really nice recesses there as well. Alright, try not to get it over the side, but if it does go over the side, it doesn't matter too much. Alright, so we're gonna be covering most of this up anyway. So just standard null oil. Just get a really nice contrast there. Alright, so cool. So you see, it looks very black now, but you'll see when it dries, it's actually going to look quite good. So sometimes, you know, you got to go. It's a miniature, so you kind of got to go to extremes of it on occasion to get it to extreme pop up. And we can always dry brush over it with something anyway, but yeah, that's that. So. Alright, cool, so I'll just go through, I'll do these, and I'll be back. Alright guys, yeah, bitchin', so you can see here, just run the hairdryer over it. You can see here that these guys have dried up pretty nicely. I've started to get those cracks going in there, in the bases as well, so I'm going to go off and get some Agrax Earthshade now, and I'm going to just apply some of that over the top. So, I'm just going to use my my big brush here, and I'll just go like over the top of the whole thing, I guess. Just get in there. It's gonna look really nice. Probably a little bit early. Should have waited a little bit more, but you know, got to get this tutorial done, guys. So a little bit in there, just brown it off a little bit, just to, like, you know, the contrast. All right, this is gonna make it look really nice. So. Unify the whole thing, actually. Just being careful not to spill your null oil or your Agrax Earthshade. Alright, we don't want that. So I'm just going through here, guys, just piling it on. Alright, so yep, so this is gonna give us some of that nice variation of the reds. All right. And just getting those cracks there as well. Show those off, so yeah, it's gonna look nice. Oops, damaged a bit of it there, that's okay. This is a really nice one, it's nice and high. So you can see there, it's looking like really nice and alien at the moment. Alright, it's pretty much the way I wanted it. It'll look better when it dries though. But I've got some really awesome red alien rocks that we're going to put over the top of this stuff, so it's gonna get it to pop. But like with basing, with scenery, again, it's just all about creating that variance. It's just all about creating that conflict on the scene, on the base. Get your base to tell a story. Alright, that's basically what you want to be doing. So this story is like a war-torn Martian Earth. Alright, so okay, so that's all of them done. I guess it's time for the hairdryer, guys. Alright, be right back. Alright, so my stuff's still drying. The nail oil's still drying. But what I'll do is I'm just going to start to go through and mix these rocks. So I've got these awesome black ones here. Little mini ones. These are from Army Painted Battlefields. Then I've got these ones here, which are really nice. I'm going to mix these two together. Then I've got these awesome red ones. Then I've got these sort of like crystalline ones. So I'm just thinking how I'm going to mix this up. I've also got these rocks here too, which are really nice as well. Add a little bit of contrast, so I might put one or two of those on each one. I'm just having a think of how I want to mix them. So I'm just going to get this. We'll do the brown ones first. So what I want to do is sort of just find a contrast within these rocks that works for me, which I think is good. So I'll just open this thing up here and so pour a bit of this stuff in here. Alright. Now I'm thinking the contrast could probably work the best with these ones actually. So I want to add, because those other grey ones are pretty much the same. So I want to add some of these guys in. Not too many though, we just want a few. Lovely rocks these, absolutely lovely. So just going to give them a mix around. Give them a nice mix. Just careful not to get them all over the floor. Alright, there we go. So I think we're going to need just a few more of those white ones. Okay. Shaking, shake. I think that's about right now. Alright, cool. Now, look, I don't even think I'm going to need to dry brush over the top of that. I think these rocks are gonna do it for me. That I think would look awesome, and then the rest can just be mud. So yeah, I'll just let me think for a second. I think we might just put a very quick layer of dry brushing on. It's still wet, so don't try this at home, guys. But I'm just going to go through, put very, very, very thin layer of Tyrant's skull on. Once again, I wouldn't usually do this when it's wet like this, everybody. Alright, but because I gotta, I'm doing this tutorial, got to get it done. I'm just doing it. Okay, so just in the interest of speed, so I can get this up there for you. That's way too wet. So I'll do a separate tutorial on dry brushing, everybody. Alright, but for now I'm just gonna go in there, just add a little bit of variance to it. Alright, you can see how much that does for it. It's a nice dry brush over the top there. Alright, just adds that extra detail. It just helps it to pop. And it will especially be important when we go add the water on top, because that's basically where we're going to see that. So it's going to go through, just give these a quick dry brush. Once again, guys, not a good idea to dry brush this while the nail oil's still there drying, but you'll wreck your paints as well. Like I said, I'm just trying to turbo through it. I've got a pretty big real life, so I've got a lot of real life stuff I have to do after this as well. Just going through. Alright, it's looking really nice now. Now remember, if it's coming up a bit stark, it doesn't matter too much, because we're going to go through and we're going to be putting rocks on the top anyway, so it's not really a big deal. Well, we just want to try keep it as good as we can, just to add that variation. I think that'll do for that one. Start of rushing. Alright, let's just go around it like that. Just over the top. Alright. So yeah, I'll have to, what I'll do is I will go and repaint over the edges in Steel Legion Drab. Should be pretty cool. And what we want to do is, before we put the water on, because the water is going to be transparent and it's going to be shiny, we're going to use some matte varnish on the top of all this. Just basically to help lock it down, because once we add the water on, if we put the matte varnish on it, then we're going to have to come back and go over that water again, which is really going to be annoying. Alright, okay, so let's have a look at that now. I'm thinking that's looking pretty cherry. Alright, just zoom in on those, see how it's cooking. Yep, cooking with gas, guys. Looking good, right? Looking good. And check out that variation there. Right, that depth. Alright, so it's really looking good. Very happy with it. I think, so you can see that dry brushing just, you know, just pops it to another level. Just really helps to add that contrast. And especially because we went through and we, you know, used the shade on it, it just helps to bring it up. And once again, guys, I know I keep repeating myself, but it's also all about contrast. Contrast, contrast, contrast. Alright, okay, cool. So now, we're going to go through and we're going to put some of these rocks on. I believe we can do it. So I've got my PVA glue here. It's wood glue. I probably could use wood glue for this, but I will use PVA. The Citadel PVA. Pretty stupid thing to do to buy that, but I did. Now this stuff dries clear. Generally, what I like to do is, if I'm putting on grass or something, I like to water it down. But we don't have time for that crap here, so I'm just going to just chuck it on. Alright, it's just gonna, this is all gonna just dry anyway, so just go around it at random. Alright, I'm concentrating on like more of the black areas here, because the black areas are sort of like where these black rocks are gonna go, and then those really sexy sort of like red iron earth rocks are gonna go on the other ones. Alright, so just very random. It's the trick is to environment art or basing or whatever it is, that you want to be sort of random with it. We want, you know, we want some of that. We want some of that really cool base we did to come through as well. We don't want to cover up completely. Alright, and then what I'm going to do, there's two ways I could do this. I can either just go through and sprinkle it on the top, but what I think I'm going to do, I'm just going to go and I'm just going to dip it in here. So I'm going to get that, and then I'm just going to go wham, like a cookie. Alright, being careful just not to press it down too hard that I wreck the actual, I can also do this, I can also do it like this. Alright, so you can see we've got a nice, let's just give it a tap. Alright, give it a good tap, because this stuff will come off. You want it to come off, and then we end up with something like that. Alright, looking pretty cool. Looking pretty alien. Alright. We'll go through, just get that in here. And just sort of like get it up there. So I don't want to cover a massive area with this. That's why I'm not watering this down, because I actually really like I really like that base work we did. So I'm looking for something like that. Alright, you can see the side there. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to repaint those, but that's okay. And this stuff will take a while to dry. If you put more in here, you could actually just push it in a lot easier, but like, I don't want to do that, because then I'm going to need to put this stuff in a container of its own, and yeah. So just go through. Oh, awesome. The clay is dry, but it's still a little bit soft under there, so we just need to be careful of that. So go through, having some fun basing. Meanwhile, while we're doing this, all the null oil and everything is drying up. Just make sure we close our lids, people. We don't want accidents happening and not null oil flying off all over the place. So let's go here, just put a bit of more sprinkle. Not many rocks on that, but that's okay, because, you know, we want variation. We don't want, you know, maybe that can have more red rocks. Go through. Alright, there we go. Alright, an artiste. Let's zoom in on that, see how that looks. Looking pretty cool. Definitely getting a lot of variance in there. A lot of depth as well, a lot of crackling. Very nice. How does it look with our Alpha Legion on the top? Yep, sweet as. Almost real. Alright, you can see that colour shift going on there. The purple. Lovely. Alright, cool. This guy's going to look good. Alright, now we're going to do the red rocks. Now, the red rocks is going to be a lot more of these. I'm just going to go through and chuck this back in the bag because, yeah, and I'll chuck it back in the bag. I don't care if there's a black rock or two in these, so I'm just going to whack it in there. Usually I have these Chinese containers for every single one, but for this one, it's just such a little amount like that. When you mix it in, it's actually going to look quite nice anyway, so who cares? It just doesn't matter if there's like a black one in here or not, so cool. Alright, so these ones now, I'm just going to go straight red with these, I think. I think we've got enough grey in there now. I was going to open that other kit of grey, but I don't think we're going to need it. I think we're pretty good. So I absolutely love these rocks. Like I saw them, and I thought about like Alpha Legion straight away. I was just like, yeah, this is going to be awesome for my Alpha Legion. Can't wait. Alright, so now I'm going to be a little bit more generous with these rocks. Don't want to spill all these all over the floor. This is going to look so awesome. Oh, no, don't spill everywhere. Awesome rocks. Alright, so now I'm going to concentrate on these red areas. So I'm going to just put a little bit of build up here like that. Maybe a bit like that. Maybe like a little bit in here. Alright, and again, so like over these areas, it didn't quite come out so good. Just, you know, create some interesting variants, some interesting shapes. You know, you can, if you don't know what to do, go ahead and like draw letters and stuff, or something like that. Like if you're not 100% sure, if you have issues with making it random. Alright, it shouldn't be that hard to just make it random. Alright, it's like a pizza really. Alright, so I'm just going to go through and now apply those Martian rocks. Alright, there we go. Alright, so that's looking really cool. Let's get this other one here. That white will dry clear. We'll have some really nice looking rocks on there. And probably these ones, I'm just going to be a little bit more liberal. So I don't want so many in there. Because when you go through, you push it down, it spreads, and I want to leave room for the water. So something like that would be good. Alright. Alright, cool. So it's all going to dry clear, so it's all good. Go. Last one. There we go. Alright, looking good. Looking good. So we've got that rockiness going on. The white isn't quite working too well, but as I was saying, white will dry, so I'm not too concerned about that. There are some things we're going to have to do though, so I'm going to actually add some pigment to this while when the glue dries, basically just to help to make it look less artificial. Alright, and then and sort of sandy, I'm thinking maybe should I go add some of these, maybe one or two of these rocks in? Yeah, I'm going to do that. I think like one or two of these rocks can really work in here. Just add some really nice colour. PVA glue will do it, so we can go 2 rocks here. Come on, glue. So yeah, we'll go rock there, or 2 rocks there. We'll just make these around on the edges because the Alpha Legion guy actually still has to stand up on here. So we don't want to go too silly with it. These ones can be separate, this one can be here. So we just want to put like a rock on each. And it'll also help us to cover the, stop the water from coming out also. Right, and maybe, yeah, rock right there. And maybe this one could have a rock right there, like in the middle in the water. Alright, that'll work. So all we're going to do now is just go through where I put the PVA glue. And just go through and then just stick some rocks down on those. So you could actually shade these, we might. So we might get some agrax on them, I think. And then dry brush over it, but we'll see how we go. So I'm honestly just thinking like these will work just as good on their own. Probably don't even need water on there, but we're going to add the water because that's sort of what I envisioned. And now you can see them really like coming together now. Always try to like bunch your rocks up or lay them up or do something interesting with them. And it's really cool because it's clay underneath, we can still push the stuff down. Alright, which is really, really cool. So maybe we might have like another rock here. Alright, that's looking good. Another rock here. Maybe we've got 2 rocks there. That's nice. there. A rock there. Alright, that should hold and stick in there pretty nicely. Okay, so while that's drying, I will go have a look for my Martian Pigment and apply some of that. But actually, come to think of it, Agrax Earthshade over the top before we go. So we're going to add some, again, that word, variance. Sorry to keep repeating myself, but it's a thing. So just go and just add that to the rock and you will see, makes it look really nice. This makes it look a lot darker, but still makes it look nice. And we can get rid of this, a lot of this darkness, just adding some water on the top of it. But I'm kind of wanting that sort of darkness. See, it sort of dries up nicely anyway, so... Right, those two are done. These two. Yeah, so you see here like how it's just, yeah, really nice. There we go. Something like that, which is really cool. Right, now just to clean it up a little bit, I'm just going to get my water and just go over it a little bit, sort of smooth those areas out. So, a little bit like that, and it'll help as well with the stuff down the bottom, like. There we go, so you can see a lot more of that natural yellowy colour coming out. Alright. Giving us some nice variation now. Alright, so that's looking pretty cool. And I reckon we'll probably do, that'll dry and we'll probably go through and actually dry brush over that as well. So I think that'll work, but let me get the good old hairdryer on that and find my Martian Pigment. Alright, so I found my pigment. So it's called Vallejo Rocco or Chorio or something like that. Some Italian crap, I don't know. So I'm going to go through now and I'm going to just dry brush over the top of these just quickly of the rocks, just to that same tyrant skull, just to sort of like even it out a little bit. I went over those rocks with the airbrush, with the hairdryer, and they're looking good, but I really want it to be a little bit lighter because I want it to stand out a little bit more. And you can see here, once I start dry brushing on the top of that, you can start to see that really nice effect. Alright, so don't be too heavy-handed on it because it's still basically drying down the bottom there from the other stuff. My Telimon Dreadnought in the corner, keeps falling over. So let's go through, let's do that nice little dry brush. Dry brush, there we go. Whoop. Alright, so yeah, it was a real rock. Now it looks like even more real rock. Alright, rock and roll. Literally rock and roll. See what I did there? Alright, so So keep going. Get to those rocks a little bit there. Geez, I don't even know if I want to add water now. I reckon these are looking pretty good as they are. Like, it's definitely looking alien and cool. So water will be the last thing I do because I'm pretty sure I've got to let that dry overnight. Alright, so whoop. Pop that back in there. Get back in there, buddy. Still not dry. Like as I said, guys, I wouldn't usually be doing this fast. I'd be leaving it for a while to dry, but yeah, the tutorial. Alright, so got to keep it rolling. Okay, so here, just brush that off. It's really, really nice texture there. Alright, there we go. Okay, that's that section done, looking absolutely fantastic. Now let's get some pigment on it. I need a dry brush, but a crap brush. Relay pigment, a very important step. Now this is going to help it look a lot more Martian-y. You don't want to be knocking this stuff over, guys. It's bugger to go. So I want to be putting some in the rock. Alright. No, this isn't working. Ah, damn it. I'm going to wreck this Citadel brush. Alright, we can see here just getting it over the top. Just like in the middle there, where it would like naturally sort of like discolor inside a rock. Alright. A little bit here, a little bit there. So you see that come together now, everybody? Right, it's looking like really Martian now. I'm freaking excited, I tell ya. Yeah, a little bit over those rocks here. Be very careful, don't go too far with this. Don't go too crazy, because if you go too crazy, you'll wreck it. It's just all about having that variance, but just subtleties. Subtlety, subtlety, subtlety. Alright? Think about that salt planet in Star Wars, right? Like, you know, the thing is though, it's you know, if you put too much on, you're pretty much gonna wreck it. It's really hard to get this stuff off if you stuff it up. So just pay attention when you're doing this. Take your time. I'm working very fast here, so that's way too much there, but whatever. Okay, so just dabbing that pigment on. Now, it will be very crumbly, so you have to make sure that you go through and you lock this down with some seal. I just use the Army Painter one. And as you can see here, it's just this orange stuff is just helping me to blend those rocks in with the rest of the environment. And just keep it random, guys. Keep it going. Alright, some of them should have more. Some of them should have less. Okay. Alright, absolutely fantastic. And be careful with this. Like I said, guys, you do not want to be spilling this everywhere. Alright, everybody, looking good. Looking good. I think it's almost time for the water now. Almost time. I'm just going to tap off, give a bit of a tap off in here, just to get a little bit of that excess sand off. Or pigment, should I say. Because it can, like, sort of crumble around a lot. So if you look here, just from those little taps, you can see like how much came off already. Alright, this is also why I use a cheap camera for this stuff. Alright, cool. Now, we've got to clean this up. We've got to get to it pretty early before it basically dries, because it's going to be really hard to get off when it dries. And then we're going to put on the grass, which is going to even look more awesome. But yeah, and then the water. Alright, so let's do this. Alright guys, now for the supreme ordeal. I'm going to go through and put some grass on these. Now I'm just using this pink grass here. It's from Army Painter. You can just buy it. You can also dye your own grass if you really want to. So now I'm going to I don't want to go overboard with this. Just in some of these areas where things are a little bit barren, we're going to stick some glue. And I want no more than maybe 1 or 2 pieces of grass per base. So remember guys, less is more. Okay, so this one can have 1. This one can have 1. This one can have 1. Alright, I don't know, we might have a look at it, put some bluegrass down as well. But I think the thing is though, like the Alpha Legion is blue and the grass is blue, so I really wanted to get that pink in there to contrast. So I think I won't do the blue grass, I'll just do this pink grass. I'm just gonna stick it on. Oh, it could work actually. Guys, tell me that doesn't look awesome. Alright, so I've had this one in my head for quite some time now. And this would be like an alien grass. Alright. I'm almost afraid to put water on this now because I'm afraid I'm going to wreck it. And then we're going to have a grass here. Alright, so there was another colour, maybe that other colour, just give me a sec. Let's have a look. Yeah, this colour should be alright. I just don't want to steal it away from the character, that's all. So oh, it's some mess in here all the time, guys. I just cleaned it up. So go here, just stick that there. We can have them like buddying up. Just stick that there. Alright, just push it down. And while you're pushing it down, you can puff it up as well. Alright, so there, alright, and maybe a bit here. Alright guys, looking thick. So guys, I haven't seen this anywhere before. Maybe, you know what, a little bit of blue grass popping out the back there. Like that, under the rock. Yeah. Alright, that's why I'm the best computer games artist in the country of Australia, guys. Not that that means anything, because Australia means nothing, but so yeah. I'm that good, everyone hates me. Alright, cool, so let's have a quick snapshot of these things. Look at that, guys, look at that. Tell me that is not some epic stuff. Alright, look at that. I'm not liking that massive clump just here of rocks. I'm thinking it's looking very artificial. I'm going to go in there. Could be another piece of grass right there. Yeah. Can't say I'm into that at all, so let's go through. There we go. We're breaking the rule here. 3 pieces of grass, but whatever. Maybe just to like sort of help to spread it out a bit, we'll just put another one sort of here. Alright, so I think it's good. We've only got 2 more things left to do now on our Alpha Legion bases. And the first thing we've got to do is obviously get this... we've got to get this water in. But the other thing... Tell me that doesn't look awesome. Awesome. So the other thing is we got to... I've got to seal it. So I've got to seal it. I'm just going to use the spray can of Army Painter matte varnish. Alright, now I'm not going to do this on camera because I'm going to take this outside because the stuff just stinks like crap, and then I'm going to let these sit here for about 15 minutes. You should let them sit there for like maybe 5 hours after you do this, or even overnight, but again, because I'm rushing through the tutorial, basically, yeah. And yeah, so then, but just I want to give you a massive tip. When you're using it, make sure you just give it a very, very slight spray, because what will happen, you'll start to get frosting on the grass from the actual spray. So you just want to go like tss, 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 very quick, or just a once over, just very quick. That's all that you need. All right, so don't go too crazy on it, or it's gonna go, yeah, it's just gonna look like ice on the top of it or something like that. And although that trick might work if you're doing snow or something, we're not doing snow here, so you know, we don't want to be frosting up our bases. Alright, cool. So alright, I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. And I'm just thinking, should I do it on camera or not? No, not really. I really can't, so yeah. And I'll come back and then that'll dry, and then I'll get the water ready and then we'll chuck the camera back on. Awesome. Excellent. Alright, so what I've done is I've just sprayed these with... matte varnish, anti-shine varnish from Army Painter, and I've gone through and then I've just wrapped sticky tape around the side of these, just so like when we go through and we do this water technique, I'm hoping it's going to minimize the stuff spilling out of the side, but something's telling me that that's wishful thinking, so but all good. Alright, so now what I need to do, so I'm going to put these rocks for a second. Oh dear, there's just so much. I need like 100 containers. I'll just put them in here for now. Have a feeling I'm going to regret putting them in there, but anyway, whatever. Okay, so now I've got to think about it. So I want to get some water in here. Now I want it to be like pink water. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this bowl. I'm going to give this a bit of a wash, and then I'm going to get some, I'm just going to pick a colour. I think I'm going to, because it's like an alien planet, so I think I'm going to get some crystal red from MIG, mix that up with some of the water effect. Now the water effect here is called Aqua Magic. Right, there it is right there, it's really awesome. Okay, we're going to be using that now, and hopefully this works. It's the first time I've used it, so yeah. Alright, so here we go, let's do it. So this crystal colour, in theory, should help us with the water effect because it's crystally, and that's what I'm hoping anyway. So we should just be able to pour this in here and then add some colour and mix it around. So let's get that in there. It's looking really nice effect. So this is the way this is going to work. Is this needs to be set to dry for 24 hours. So I'm going to put this video up tonight for this one, and then what I'll do is I'll do like a showcase tomorrow. Like I'll do a separate showcase video tomorrow. Now we just want a few dots, alright, a few drops here, and I'm just going to stir this around. So I just want, yes, just to create that sort of like Martian red sort of water, so murky water. That might even be a little bit too much. Probably is. It's a lot more than what I wanted. Yeah. Alright, that's alright. It's definitely looking crystal. I'm just thinking, should I put more in? It's expensive stuff, this. I can't really add water to it. Yeah, look, I'll put some more in. Whoa! I'll put some more in. I can always buy more of this stuff. I'd rather buy some more than not be happy with the mini. That's the lid dropped in there. Alright, so that's looking a lot better. So, yuck. Maybe I could just go over here. Alright. Yeah, so much less next time. But it's a learning process. Alright, let's get this water in here. And like just tear some of the areas there, so, and you'll just see it'll float around. And you see how the masking tape is helping to hold it in place. Alright, so should be cool. Alright, so I could just tear that masking tape off afterwards. There you go, so just let that pull up. We try to keep the bases straight so that it doesn't sort of like offshoot to one side. I'm just gonna move that one over. It's, yeah, just spread it out a bit. Because I don't want it to like destroy the shape of the dais. So what I might do, instead of having it over the edge, I might just open this up. Alright guys, cool. So that's that, and it's drying up now. So it's starting to look like water already, yeah? So I reckon it's looking pretty cool. Now I'm going to let these dry up overnight. And we'll come back to them in the morning and we'll see how they look. I'll do a showcase video on them tomorrow. But yeah, so it's like water, you know, like in the lake. Okay, so there you go. It's looking pretty cool. It should be good. Awesome. All right. Now, just a word of warning: if you're going to use this stuff, just make sure you use gloves. I just spilled the stuff and touched it with my hand, and my skin started peeling off. So, yeah. So, all good. It says on the bottle, like, wear gloves. It causes severe skin irritations and stuff. But, you know, of course, I didn't read them. But, you know, whatever. But that's them. So let's see how they look tomorrow. Alright, everybody. Thanks for watching. That's the tutorial. Hopefully you found something of use here. And consider subscribing to the channel. Alright, guys. I'll see you all in the next video. See you later. Bye-bye.